Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. In this video, as per user request, I'm going to show you how to install FreeBSD in UTM running on macOS and install Wayland. So let's start by creating a new virtual machine. Let's start. And I will just now install the machine. So what I'm going to do now is to allow root to log in as SSH to the machine, because I just don't like black backgrounds. So the dark mode, my eyes cannot cope with this. So yeah, I just have root and root as password for the demo. That should be fine. And to enable SSH for root to log in as through SSH, we're going to, okay, first let's install the best text editor. Install Vim. So let's go and edit etc sshd config and root. There is a permit root login, and we set it to yes, and service sshd restart. I need to get the IP address, so this is 207. So ssh root at 192.168.2.207. Okay, so we are there in the machine, and we need to start installing a couple of things. So let's start with pkg install Wayland, Sway, W menu, foot, the terminal, xorg fonts, and I think that should be it for now. Let's go for this one. Okay, I forgot another one which is very important, which is the WayVNC. Okay. So let's start the configuration by looking at the keyboard. So I'm presenting you here with the keys. This is a typical Mac keyboard, and here you see we have the control, option, command on the right hand side, and the option. And at least with the software that I'm going to use, I'm going to use real VNC to connect to the machine. I was able to determine that the control here is called CTRL. Here this option is called mode 5. This command is mode 1 or alt. And the command on the right hand side is mode 4 or super. So I want to use the control in Sway. So let's edit the file, user local etc sway config, and here instead of mode 4 let's write CTRL. And there is another thing that I'm going to put here in the end of the file, which I just like, because I'm not very keen on tiling Windows managers. I like my windows floating. So for window in this is the wrong, so here title equals dot star, floating enable, and let's also for window border normal. Okay, the next thing, we create a new file So create a directory, user local etc WayVNC, user local etc WayVNC, config, and let's put address equals 0000, enable auth true. And now something we should not be done. You can look on the internet, it's possible to configure key pairs and so on. I'll just use this simple and stupid thing, which is username equals root, password equals root. Okay, root, not TOR, not the other way around. Next, we need to enable dbus, sysrc, dbus enable yes, and service dbus start. And now we are ready to try out the system, the Wayland. So before I do that, one comment before, we don't have a GPU here on this machine. Means in order to run stuff like hyprland or wayfire, we need a graphics card that supports DRM. We don't have access to this, so Sway allows to do what we want. So it's going to be Wayland, but it's not going to be those fancy graphics that you might see. But it is good nonetheless. So let's try to start things by hand. So first export WLR back ends equals headless. Export WLR lib input no devices equals 1. Export xdg runtime dir equals var run xdg and root. And I think we can put the other one, xdg config home. It's on user local etc sway. I think we don't need the stuff here. And sway -d. Let's see. Actually, let me start this in the other. Yeah, I put already this thing, so it's fine. Sway -d. It's running, so yeah. So basically, it looks good for the time being. So I'm going to start another shell, and now we start WayVNC. For that, export. Let me see if we can find it here. It's Wayland-1. So Wayland display equals Wayland-1. Export xdg runtime directory / var run xdg root, and WayVNC with the configuration on user local etc WayVNC and config. All right, it looks like it's running. Now let's start VNC viewer. So I'm going to add a new machine, 192.168.2.207. Okay, so actually let me bout. So I'm using the real VNC viewer. Okay, and I just added this machine, and let's connect here. This is not recognized. Okay, root. Hooray! So we have already Sway running. Control enter, and we have a floating window here. Yeah, uname -a. It's running. But I would like to make this a little bit nicer. Control Shift E, let's exit, yes. So compositor is gone, and this one is also gone. So what I'm going to show you now is how to make a really nice service for FreeBSD. And I'm going to use some files. So I'm not going to type everything in, otherwise we're going to waste too much time, but I'm going to explain you what I've done on those files. So here in my local machine, I'm going to go to my desktop. And let's start with Sway, with this file. So actually cat sway, and I'm going to copy paste this file into the machine. So let me select here, goes here, and let's put this file into user local etc rc.t sway. Copy paste, chmod +x /x on this file, and let's have a look at the file. What is this? So I'm going to read it. Again, I'm not typing in all this thing all by hand, but I'm going to explain. So this is an RC script, provides sway, requires dbus, and keyword shutdown. I think it's going to be called in the shutdown. We are defining an RC script that's called sway, and we can enable it with sway_enable with sysrc. Defining 3 commands. The start, here I see a bug, stop. So the start command sway start, stop command sway stop, status command sway status. Okay, load the script. Here by default it's not enabled, and we defined these 3 variables. So the command is running sway, and we need 2 PIDs, process identifiers, for the daemon and for the sway itself, for the server. And we defined this variable sway backends, which has the default headless value, but we can overwrite it in rc.conf. So if you want to have some other value there, you could do it, but this default value is already good enough. In the command sway start, we write starting sway, and we define those variables, the backends as defined here, the lib input no devices set 1, the runtime directory to each xdg root. So I'm currently running as root. You might want to create another user. This is the simple way for now. The config home is here, and we need path, otherwise Sway doesn't find the binaries it needs to run. I had another interesting issue, but I cannot really explain why. I mean, I just solved it by deleting the runtime directory, recreating it, and setting the permissions. You can try it without it, but I found out that I really needed this. Then we call daemon. The -r means that if the sway command exits, it's automatically restarted every 1 second. So it's not really fast, but it waits 1 second. The capital P writes in the file the PID of the daemon, and /p, a small one, of the sway binary. Here we run with the command, and we don't want to look at error messages, and we don't want to write those as error messages also to a file, otherwise the file might be a little bit full. You might want to change this for yourself. So otherwise we might fill up the disk. I think there are quite a lot of messages that come out. The stop command, we basically look at the PID file for the demo, if daemon, and we capture this in the daemon PID, also for the program, and we kill both of them, ignoring. So if there is nothing there, this is just going to error out, or if the program was already killed, then there is also a small error. Yeah, we put this into dev now, and we remove those PID files. In terms of the status, as long as we have a daemon PID file, we say that the service is running, otherwise it's not running. And last but not the least, run rc command. And that's it. That's the whole script. Now we get a similar script for the WayVNC. So let's copy this script, and let's here WayVNC. Let's add it here. chmod. This one, and let's read this file also. It's very similar, so I'm going to go a little bit fast. Provide and require. In this case, we provide WayVNC and we require Sway. We have the start command for WayVNC start, the stop for WayVNC stop, and the status command. Here we have also by default the service is not enabled, and we have the command, the daemon and the PID file, and in this case we have two variables that we could override. One is the WayVNC config that has the default value set here to this config directory, and the WayVNC Wayland display. We could set this in the rc.conf, and by default it goes to Wayland-1, which is the default for Sway. So the start script is a little bit easier. We say Wayland display to the Wayland-1. It's xdg runtime directory var run xdg root. Maybe we don't need the maybe we don't need the this thing here, but it's fine. Then we remove by default the WayVNC control from the runtime directory. It's I found out that this is also good to do, and the process is also very similar. We start the daemon with -r, capital P, small p, the WayVNC command, and now we put the configuration, that capital C config. So if you remember, I did this command exactly in the terminal. The WayVNC stop is also very similar. We look for the daemon PID, the program PID, we kill and we remove the files. And for the status, we look if the daemon daemon PID file is existing, then we say the service is running, otherwise not. And we do, last but not the least, the run rc command. Okay, so let's go to real VNC. So currently the connection has been refused because nothing is running. So ps ux, there is nothing running. Okay, so we have added those services, so let's enable them. So, sysrc Sway, let's start with the Sway, enable equals yes, and WayVNC enable yes. Service Sway start and WayVNC start. Now let's try to log in again. Connection was refused. Why was it refused? Let's pkg install ps3. So this should not have happened. ps3, and it's actually there, and well, this should be running. Connection was refused. Sock stat -4. So we see that the WayVNC is not running. So service WayVNC stop and service WayVNC starting, and let's try to connect again. No, still not. Yeah. User local etc rc.t Sway. So let me actually PS3. So Sway looks like it's running. There is the wallpaper and everything. And let's try with number 2. Let's try to run it from here, the WayVNC, and okay, we get an identity check failed. This is okay, because every time that the WayVNC starts, then you can see here an RSA key has not been set, a new one will be generated. So the identity of the server is changing. It is fine. We just continue, root, and we are in. Okay, so this means that the service for Sway is running properly. Let's try to see. So we exit, yes, and WayVNC stopped. So we try to run again, and here continue, root, and we are in again. Okay, so let's try to debug what is the problem with the service. The user local etc rc Sway, and so Sway is not a problem, so WayVNC. It should be the start here, and instead of putting all these things here out, I'm just going to put %, here and there. I'm going to reduce the font size a little bit so you can probably see a little bit better. So I want to see exactly what is happening in this command here. So service WayVNC stop and start. So load config failed, no such file or directory. So that's the problem. Okay, let's service WayVNC stop. Now go to the other shell, so that we can see the problem now is the configuration file is not there. Let me try to see the config user local etc WayVNC config. ls user local etc WayVNC config. It is there apparently. So let me user local etc WayVNC /config. User local etc WayVNC config. All is fine, and why? Okay, WayVNC config. Let's try to see about this problem. So before we start the demo, so echo config equals $config, and let's not run the daemon. Service WayVNC stop, just in case, and start. So, and we have this file here, config. Okay, aha, I see an issue. Equals, and now let me see, Wayland display. I see already the problem. So this is Wayland -1, here is fine, but here is not fine. You see the small difference? There is a bug here, okay, because this closes here and this other one is closing on the other side. Okay, so you got a little bit of debugging of the script also. I don't know, yeah, it was some copy-paste issue. Now it's the config file is exactly in the point, so this is no longer there. Yeah, so we can remove those lines, we can remove this line, and we can remove this part here, and the script should now be fine. So exit, quit, and service WayVNC start, And now let's try. Don't forget, the new key has been generated. So yes, a new key is there. Continue. Root. Hey, nice. We have Sway. Let's exit. And let's connect again. As you know, the -R, it restarts not only Sway, but it also restarts the WayVNC. So connect again. A new key has been generated because Sway WayVNC needed to restart. That's fine. You can configure your own key and it will always have the same value. Here and root. That's it. Now the last thing I wanted to would like to show is that you can resize this window, yeah, and you're not changing the resolution of the screen, but it's scaling. So let's try to do some other thing. Let's try to do a scaling here. For that, Sway config, Sway message, sorry. So if I press Control Shift and 2 fingers, yes, I can do this thing here. So let's control here and now increase the font size. Okay, this is Control Shift and 2 fingers. -T and get outputs. So the output is a headless -1, and what we can say here is Sway message output headless -1 mode. Let's put 1000. I tried this value before, it was okay. I don't know if for the video recording if this is good. So this is going to do it's like xrender in Xorg. So there we go. As you see, the resolution has been changed. So let's put something, yeah, really horrible, 640 by 480. And yeah, it becomes really nasty. So let's go for the previous one. That's okay. And we can still scale the window a little bit. Last but not the least, pkg install Falcon. So this is going to install a browser that I've tried out, and it kind of works well here. So let's see. And let's just go to Falcon. There we go. www.google.de, and we are in. We have a browser. pkg install because, yeah, Vim GTK3 because Vim is the best text editor, and we also have a nice user interface. So this is the gvim, and here it is. All right, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have comments or suggestions, please use the space down below. If you want, you can give a thumbs up to the video. And yeah, I wish you have a nice weekend, a nice week, nice day, nice evening. Yeah, take care. See you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, and now I'm back. Let's do another thing here that I forgot in the video. So let me reboot the machine, shut down, reboot. So here, as you can see, my consoles, they basically are gone. The machine is now starting. And because I enabled the services in sysrc, let's see if they are available. Let's just double click. Yes! Root, and we are again in. Yeah, I just wanted to show this. Okay, see you, bye!